Thank you, Doug. I think you did all the hard work for me. Anyhow, I'm really honored to be here today with the graduates of the Palmer Center Microenterprise program. It's been a real blast to be here in the classes, work with the students, work with the champions, and I'm really confident that the skills you've learned this year are going to go far for you. Some of the business ideas I've heard have been really amazing, and I'm really excited to be part of this program. Since Doug wrote my speech for me. Anyhow, later I'm going to tell you about some of the keys to my success. But in the meantime, I want to tell you a little about my story. I love my work with great people, work hard, we have fun. At the end of the day, we provide value to our customers. And that's really what it's all about. If you don't provide value, you really have nothing to offer. My path was not a traditional one. My parents were divorced when I was 2. My mother was remarried 3 times, bounced around to different schools, and was probably ADHD. But they just kept saying, "Gee, Mrs. Spunt, your child's overly active." I left high school when I was 16, got a full-time job in construction. I worked for a general contractor. Fortunately, in high school, I learned to do architectural drafting. I had a real marketable skill. And over the next 5 years, I honed these skills. I worked really hard and leveraged that into 2 businesses. Started my first business at 18. I had $75 in my pocket. I am a microenterprise success story. I moved out of my home when I was 18. I had no money. I ended up living with a family and doing household chores and running errands for room and board. Shortly after, I started my first business on a whim. I was at the local art supply store, and there's a 3x5 card on the cash register that said draftsman needed. And that's when I met Chuck Tomas. Chuck was my first client and mentor. Chuck, like me, didn't complete college, but was passionate about what he did. Chuck owned a bunch of real estate and many apartment buildings as well. Chuck took me under his wings, and he taught me how to be a businessman. I still talk to Chuck regularly. He's a very important person in my life. So that was 32 years ago. I've had the privilege to build a lot of different businesses and be involved with a lot of great people and great clients. And people always ask me, what's the key to your success? How'd you do it? And I've thought about it, and really being an entrepreneur is not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. It's really simple. I broke it down to 2 key things. The first and the most important is the people you surround yourself with. And I really made some big changes in my life from 16 to 20 and fired a lot of my friends who are not very productive and kind of led me down the wrong path. Or I led them down the wrong path, but it wasn't productive. And fortunately, a lot of these people who I associate myself with are actually in the room here today. They've been great friends, business partners, and one of them is Sandy Siegel, who I met when I was about 22 years old, so 28 years ago. And we grew up in the business together. I was his first architect, and been working together and hanging out together, and he's the godfather of my children. So that's how deep that relationship goes. And then Janet. Janet's been a big fan of mine for so many years, and I'm so honored that she thought about getting me involved in the Pepperdine Law School family, and I'm really deeply indebted to you for that. But last but not least is my mom. And there's another great story. My mom went back to college when she was 35 years old and got her master's in finance. And she taught me never give up. And you can always learn. It's never too late to start. And I hold that with me every day, because I think the hardest part is really starting. And I have a really great quote that I use all the time with people in my organization, with my partners. It was the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin Roosevelt. And it would sound like this: when faced with a decision, the best thing you do is make the right decision. Second best thing you do is make the wrong decision. And the worst thing you do is make no decision. What that means to me is just do it. Put your first foot forward, put your next foot after it, and just keep going. And many people have really great ideas, and they're so afraid to make mistakes. they're so afraid to take that first step. And I've made plenty of mistakes, but because of that, I've also made a lot of really good decisions. And I really want to graduate the students here today from taking that first step and taking control of your lives and trying to make a change. It's really impressive. And again, I'm just so honored to be part of this, and I wish you all the best. And enjoy graduation tonight, I guess. Thank you.